Hey, what's up everybody? Kellen here from Start Your Systems again, and welcome to another Monster Energy Supercross the game career mode gameplay. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the 450 class. I completely messed up and didn't even do the shootout by mistake, but it still gave me the West Coast Championship, and as such I decided to move up to the 450 class. And so here we go, we're gonna try it out. This is heat number 2 actually. Angel Stadium at the start of the season, and I am told that these 450 guys are a lot more difficult. So we'll see how that works out. I qualified 3rd fastest out of the 20-minute timed qualifying session. I only did like 3 laps and then skipped all the time to just get into the heat races, and like I said, wanted to get into the 450 class so I could see for myself how much more supposedly difficult this class is, which so far not so hard. Ooh, made a mistake. I like this far camera a little bit better. I'm not too sure why I chose this camera as opposed to the little standard close-up camera. Get this triple and triple into the corner. There we go. Alright, so far not much of a challenge. I've already got couple second lead here over Muscan, who's in 2nd. Of course, it is a heat race, so thus the top 9 will transfer, and for some reason Dungy, who was the fastest qualifier, is in dead last. Oh man, I almost quadded that. These 450s they're a different animal. I ride them pretty much every week in all those videos that I do on the real life tracks that were actually custom made by me, and I don't feel like they're as sluggish as this bike is feeling right now. I know the Suzuki is not one of the best bikes available. I think the KTM has most power across the board, and I think it's the Cowie that is supposed to handle the best. So I'm not saying that the Suzuki is supposed to be anything amazingly special, but didn't think it would feel as sluggish as it does. It really doesn't feel like it's moving very fast at all comparatively to the 250F I was on. Running a little red yellow Suzuki setup here. I've got UFO helmet with Oakley goggles, UFO gear, and Alpine Star boots, all red, black, and white and yellow mixed in here. Looking fancy. I was actually going to run pretty much this exact setup for the shootout, which I'm so mad. I don't know what I did. I just was trying to skip forward to the next session, and it just completely backed me out and said, "You've won the championship," because I had a big enough points lead, and yeah, it just was like, all right, on to the next season. So my bad, but wanted to move up to the 450 class anyway, so I guess it all worked out. And so far, while they are more challenging, they are definitely not as challenging as I heard they would be. This is on realistic difficulty still. I haven't changed that up at all from the 250 class stuff, so still on realistic difficulty. If I can have one criticism about this game coming from so many of the other games that I still play, MX Sim, play Reflex a little bit, obviously All Out, and MX Bikes is another game that I'm into as well, is that this game is maybe a little too easy. Like, I don't feel like there's much in the way of like doing any sort of fancy skills or anything like that. You know, All Out, despite it being a very arcade-ish type game, definitely has some finesse to it that you have to learn. This game, I feel like it's really just like pin it to win it, like doing big quads in the middle of sections like I just did right there and stuff. It's not bad, but just pointing something out, I guess. Get that triple. Nope, cased it. Supposedly the fast line through that rhythm section is to go far inside and like scrub single into the section and then double on off triple into the corner. But I can't get that scrub single to work the way that I'm told it does work. So I'll try this next lap through and see if I can figure it out. Just trying out a couple different camera options. A couple of guys I have absolutely never ever heard of in my life are in 4th and 5th. David Beck and Stuart Thompson. Just mixed in there right behind Muscan and Baggett, no biggie. I will say that while the AI doesn't seem as challenging as I was hoping maybe, that they are keeping it close. The 250 class, it was sheer domination. Like you saw some of the videos I've done in this game where I let the field start an entire lap ahead of me and I still caught and passed everybody no problem, and even put several guys a lap down after that. So you're like scrubbing right here, but again I keep messing it up. And you're supposed to double on off, or you could just triple this thing right here, but I keep messing it up. And the cool thing is to like jump around the inside of that corner, I guess. But yeah, these guys are keeping it a little bit closer. Definitely not dropping Muscan a ton. I mean, he's not close. He's 10 seconds back, so that's not really a challenge. But in the heat races before that I would do in the 250 class, I would just destroy the 250 class. I mean, it wasn't even close. Which I guess in some sense isn't that bad, because if you're trying to, you know, let's say play this game as just a casual fan, you want it to appear as if the 250 class is, I guess not lesser skill, but like not the premier class. So once you get to the 450s, it's meant to be more of a challenge. I think the difference between the two is a tad much. Like I think you could maybe make total race time in the 250 class like 30 seconds to 45 seconds faster out of the AI that's unrealistic, and still, you know, have them appear to be slower than the 450 classes. But I mean, I'm not saying it's necessary to completely make them even, which realistically in real life they kind of are. Like if you let a 250F rider, top tier 250F rider, go 15 minutes in a 450 main event, he's gonna end up inside of the top 10, I would say. Like if you put Zach Osborne on his 250F out into a 450 main event right now, but then ended the 450 main event right at that 15-minute mark, which is where their like training would, you know, lead them to. I think Osborne probably finishes 9th, let's say. All right, cool. Unlocked a bunch of stuff, some silver graphics, and the new silver badge. So level 200 in the game. I have reached the pinnacle, if that's what you would like to call it. All right, now we're gonna have the main event, and I'm curious to see how this goes. It's going to be 20 minutes plus 1 lap, and judging by the heat race, I have a feeling it's going to be kind of easy. So I'm going to maybe try to throw a monkey wrench into the plan just in the middle here. And let's see how we go. Not the best start. Tried the whole shifting technique, but didn't get the best of start into turn 1, and it's chaotic. Jeez, there's literally contact everywhere. I'm landing on Blake Baggett's shoulder. All right, so not out to the lead. Didn't get the best of starts there, but into 6th. Trying to work my way through. Gonna go around the outside of Brock Tickle, Ryan Dungey, and Roxon in the whoops here. Dungey trying to get me back. Let's see if I can quad. Nope. It's all right though. How about David Beck trying to battle Marvin Muscan for the lead right now? I'm going to try to get around them both. We'll scrub down on the Supercross triple. Triple this, and triple into the corner. Into the lead I go. Turn it down. Oh boy. Boy, this is going to be a long 20 minutes if this is how easy the AI is going to be. I was hoping it'd be more difficult. It really was. It is not working out the way I had expected. But it does give me, I guess, plenty of time to talk about something that has been on my mind regarding this game versus MX vs. ATV All Out, which seems to be the sort of quote-unquote battle of the video games going on at the moment. People have just been rampantly arguing video to video about which game is better or whatever. I am not picking a side. I really could care less. I like both games, and I will continue to play both games, but I have something to say to you people out there that keep commenting on my videos and saying, quit playing either this game or All Out. It's garbage. Please play this instead. And I mean, you're like, that's your opinion, sure, but why are you telling me what to play? I'm just playing the games that I have fun playing and showing off to people. It's not like I'm forcing this upon you. You can choose not to watch this video if you don't like it, or you could choose to not watch the All Out videos if you don't like it. But I like both games. Like, what's so hard to believe about that? I don't get it. Like, there's this never-ending attitude of one has to be better than the other. No, they don't. They both have, you know, they're both motocross games. They can be fun in their respective ways. I don't feel the need to pick one and play only one. I get all these people too that they're still so diehard with Sim or MX bikes that they just will absolutely trash either this or All Out into the ground because it's not as realistic as Sim or MX bikes. And it's just like, let people have nice things, you know? Like, if someone likes this game and they swear by it being the most realistic game, let them have it. Like, we don't need to sit here and argue with everybody about what is the best motocross game. Let's just have fun playing the games that are presented to us. Can we criticize things that we don't like about them? Sure, let's help these developers try to make a better game, but we don't need to sit here and bash the people that choose to like the game. They have their reasons. It's just so silly to me how people will like attack the people that choose to like the game. I like both games, and I feel like nothing wrong with that. But obviously people commenting on some of my videos feel otherwise, and it's not a ton of people. I'm not saying that like every comment is people saying I shouldn't play this game or shouldn't play All Out, but I have seen it pop up, you know, fairly often since both of these games have come out, saying I should stop playing one game or the other. And I mean, first of all, that's not really even your decision. It's my channel. I can kind of choose what I want to put on it, but like, I understand that audience feedback is great for me too, because it helps me decide like what videos are most important to post and stuff like that. But this is still just all for fun for me. Like, this isn't my job or my career per se. Yeah, I put a lot of effort into it, but I'm not trying to like win everybody over. I'm just trying to have fun playing video games. And if you guys watch, then awesome. Like, that's super cool. I'm glad that we have a community that is able to sit back and watch these videos and enjoy them. But do you gotta really go in and pick on the guys that like one game or the other? I don't really think so. I think it's just people being just a little bit too over the top, diehard for whatever game, and that's fine. Like, you can be passionate about whatever game, but to tell people to stop playing which game it is, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So that's my little rant of the video, I guess. I always seem to go off on some tangent in these videos, and I know some people like the commentary that I have, and some people wish I would shut up. And to those people, I understand your logic, but this is not what that channel is about. I am here to talk about the games. I am here to talk about my feelings, my topics, whatever I care to discuss. There's a lot of channels out there that are pretty strictly just gameplay, and there's no commentary at all, which some of those I enjoy, but it definitely depends on the game. Like, if it's a game where the sound is really good, I would prefer the person to talk a little bit less. But is the sound really that amazing in this game that you wish I wasn't talking over it all the time? Like, here, let me be quiet and let's listen to the Suzuki. Oh, you guys are really missing out on those sounds, aren't you? You wish I'd be quiet the whole video so you could just listen to that thing. But no, I mean, come on. Let the people play their games. Who cares if you don't like it, it's your prerogative, dude. But no reason to get all up in arms about someone playing a video game. Like, who cares? It's meant to be fun. Video games are supposed to be fun. MX Simulator would make you feel otherwise, that's for sure. But most video games are meant to just be fun and enjoyable, and yes, there can be competition within them, but do we really got to be that nitpicky that... I don't know. I'm done talking about this. I will continue talking about some of the things that I like and or dislike about this game so far. Talked a little bit about it at the very beginning of the video, but I do feel like for some reason this game is a little bit more sluggish. I know they just came out with a brand new patch not too long ago, but I guess I hadn't really played the real tracks in this game for a while either. So maybe that's what I'm feeling. Like, I'm so used to playing those customized tracks that I make that playing a real track again feels kind of foreign. But I do feel like it's a little bit sluggish. That's also maybe a product of playing all out a little bit and just kind of jumping between games a lot. Not a bad thing. I mean, slower speeds realistically is the case in Supercross. You don't get going very fast at all when it comes to Supercross in real life. I mean, the tracks are pretty small, the stadiums are very compact, so to replicate those speeds, you do have to make sure that the speeds look like they're slowed down a little bit. I do think that this game could do a little bit better with maybe making like the corner speeds tamed down a little bit, but making it so if you hit your marks, you can still do big lines in rhythm sections. Like, I feel like it's very hard in this game, especially on some of these tracks that are not the custom ones, to triple in. The custom tracks that I build, I spend a lot of time like making sure there's enough space coming out of the berm to be able to triple into a rhythm section per se. This game, they kind of predetermined a lot of the rhythm sections, so that kind of is why it's tough to triple in some places. But I feel like in general, it's not very easy to triple in at all in this game, and I think that has to do a little bit with like corner speed not really carrying over. The clutch is absolutely useless in this game, which is kind of annoying because in real life, you know, these guys come into the corner, they kind of feather the clutch out to get that perfect drive out of the corner so they can pop, you know, a big 3-4 through a rhythm section or something like that straight out of a corner. But, you know, the clutch doesn't really do you a whole lot in this game, so can't do that. But I would like to see, you know, if they're going to update the physics in the future titles, obviously we're going to see MXGP Pro, which is another milestone production coming out. I think it's in June is the release date, actually, so we'll see that, and we'll see what they've changed on the physics for that game compared to MXGP 3. But I would assume they're going to make, you know, a Monster Energy Supercross the game based around 2018, and just some of the things that I already have on my wish list are to, you know, make the corners more technical. I would say, like, I feel like you can just kind of throw it into every corner no problem, and just it tracks and goes through the corner. Like, I wish you would have to actually kind of pinpoint the ruts to hit and, you know, get into them, hit the speeds that you need to hit. Because Supercross is so much about, in modern Supercross, that is, hitting your marks, you know, finding that sweet spot, that sweet line in the corner to be able to triple into a section or whatever it is. And then, you know, the whoops, they'll get kind of torn down, so you'll either have to find a nice smooth level spot across them or hit the kind of notched out ruts that are made. But this game is so kind of freeform, flowing, that you can pretty much go anywhere on the track, hit any line you want, and you get just about the same amount of traction. So I think that would be like the next step that these guys could work on with terrain deformation, as well as making it so the ground kind of either really negatively or really positively affects your traction and trajectory through corners. Even flat corners, I could see that working out differently. And then just the rest of it, you know, I think they're kind of working on it slowly. I think you still can kind of do too many, you know, like OJs or cases in rhythm sections in this game and not really be affected by it. Not speed-wise. I think that they have the speed that is necessary going through rhythm section down pretty well in this game. I'm more talking about, like, you can kind of just like use a rhythm section as a whoop section and not get really affected by that. I think they need to figure out a way to kind of change that up a little bit. Not sure what they could do, but it's one of the things that I see sticking out as something that they should probably change. And then, Obviously, the air physics, everybody talks about that with All Out coming out now. You have very free-formed air physics. You know, you can move the bike in many different directions. This game, you're pretty much limited to either like kind of just like moving the bike side to side in the air like that with the left stick, or using the right stick combined with the left stick to scrub like that. And those are pretty much your only options. You can't do much else. You can kind of move the body around in the air, but it doesn't change much. So obviously people want updated air physics, but I think they have a good base to work with on the ground, and they're gonna, you know, try to work on everything else as a side nomer to that. Obviously the graphical impressions on this game are fantastic. I really think that the look that they've created with the stadium atmosphere and everything like that, it's super top notch. I guess another thing that I wish that they would work on for the next game, you know, if they do release another new game, is career mode. I feel like career mode is a little stagnant in this game. You kind of get going, you get into it, and then you pretty much just do the same thing over and over and over again. Like, you just keep doing the same, you know, start up practice, do practice. You can mess with the bike settings if you want, but you don't have to. Then do heat races, main events, and on to the next round. There's not really like any in between. I think it'd be kind of cool if, similar to these Madden or MLB The Show type games, if they maybe added like, you know, like training objectives that you had to do during the week to raise up your statistics or something along those lines. Obviously now they've started releasing things like the Compound, which has its own little Supercross track on it, but like, how cool would it be if they had like midweek challenges for these events where like you had to go to that Compound Supercross track, which, I mean, obviously not everybody has it because it's $4.99 to download, but like you had to go to the Compound and you had to hit like targets on the track, which is meant to replicate you hitting lines lap after lap or something like that. I think stuff like that would be cool, you know, add test tracks to the game that you can go to and spin laps on, complete objectives there. Maybe have some cutscenes as well. I know that they do like the podium cutscenes, but I mean more of like getting into your semi out in the parking lot and talking with your agent or talking with the suspension guys, things like that. That stuff's more included in like the new Formula One games as well. I think they could take a page from some of those, add some cool things like that, little features, just to make the career mode a little more, what's the right word here? I guess like varied, because it's very stagnant at the moment, I guess would be the right word. So those would be a couple of my ideas. I don't know. You could take them for what I have to say, or you could tell me to go shove it and say that this game is perfect in every which way it is. That's cool beans, dude. All right. So we'll say, again, just like the heat race, I'm not like blowing these guys' doors off. I haven't even hit lappers yet. I will probably hit them right before the end of this main event, but I also have, you know, a 22-second lead, whereas in the 250 class, it definitely was not the case. They were much more of a challenge, or much less of a challenge, I should say. More of a challenge to lap 3 times, but they're very easy to start very far behind and pass everybody no problem. So, you know, 19-second lead, not blowing these guys' doors off. And I can see if you start making a couple of mistakes like I have, that before you know it, those guys are on you. I lost like 4 or 5 seconds just going down a couple times right there. And, you know, these video games, as much as us adults wish to believe that they're very built for us, I would say, they're still supposed to be for kids, you know? Like, this is supposed to be something that, you know, a 10-year-old child could pick up and kill time with, I guess, or, you know, have fun with. And in some regards, that's why I feel like the realistic difficulty suddenly being extremely hard, like I think people are asking for it to be, is a little far-fetched, just because you still want, you know, a 10-year-old to be able to pick it up and have no problem learning it, and then being able to get on realistic difficulty to the top of the game via career mode. I still think they could bump up the realistic difficulty a little bit more, sure, but Just trying to cover kind of all sides of the story, I would say here. Oh, I finally actually got that quad. I came up a touch short, but I didn't have to bounce and double into the corner. 3.5 minutes left to go. 107.1 is my best lap time. Why do I feel like I did a 102 on this track before? Catching up to some lappers right now. Like to see a full leaderboard. I don't know how to adjust the leaderboard on the left side to show that, but be kind of neat. See where everybody is in the field and maybe who I'm catching up to. Still getting that rhythm line super clean. And this is really kind of a small complaint, I'd say, like really kind of a petty thing to be complaining about. There's a full leaderboard on the left there. Wow, Justin Barsha 20th, catching up to Mike Alessi and Trey Kennard. But this small little pet peeve I have is that these guys are always in the same gear, which, as we know in real life, is not the case. Like, you know, in like a game like Formula One or, you know, a pro sporting game, of course, they're always going to be in the same uniform, or I guess in like baseball games, they should be in different uniforms. But in motocross and supercross, you rarely see guys wear the same set of gear more than once, like even week to week. And I don't mean like the exact same set, but I mean like same colorway. They change it up a lot, but in this game, these guys, they're stuck with that colorway. So I think it'd be kind of cool if like you're able to week to week have Roxon, for example, in the next game switch between the varying Fox sets that are available and at work. I don't feel like you've ever really seen that in these motocross video games when it comes to the pros. They've always kind of just had their setup and that is it. But yeah, just be kind of cool if they could switch gears. It's not the end all be all, but just a little something I figured I'd point out. So I was going through the lappers a little bit and then started making some mistakes. Let's try again. Looks like Roxon has moved into second. There he is over there. He's going to try to catch up to me, but he is not going to do that. I'm going to win this race. Mwaha. Let's triple past Alessi here. Scrub it down. And triple to the inside of Kennard. Now we're to Barsha and Pike, who are having a terrible start to their season for JGR Suzuki. Oh, down on the parts and limited tough block. Poor old Mike Alessi not running into me. Has to double the finish line, or I mean single the finish line. I was just ahead of the time that time, so 2 laps to go as the time is about to expire, and you'll see the clock go to 0 and then switch over to 2 laps to go. So there we are, 2 to go, doing a full-fledged main event. Just going all out. Oof. Oh, I thought I was going to hit in those tough blocks again. Triple on, off, and get around Kennard again. Get the triple. Excuse me, Pike. Sorry. Thank you very much. Another thing that I wish they could do at this game too, that obviously is not part of the career mode, is to get on official teams. You can totally do that in MXGP 3. Why wouldn't you be able to do it in this game? That I'm not too sure why. But I think that, like I said, I think a lot of these things that I'm talking about too are things that they plan on working on for future titles. We'll see MXGP Pro come out before the next Monster Energy Supercross game, if there is going to be another one. So we'll learn a little bit more about where their mindset is going forward with these games, because it's the same people, same developers, all that business. But yeah, just like I said, a couple thoughts and opinions. You can agree to disagree, or you could even like my comments. I don't know. You can choose. But I'm going to wrap up this video here right at the end of this lap, taking the win here in Angel Stadium for round number 1 of the 450 series. So I'll take the red plate next week into San Diego, try to get back on schedule with completing these career mode videos and having fun doing so along the way. But I thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys in all of our future videos. But my name is Kellen, and I will see you guys in the next one.